During the chaos that defined the year 2020, K-pop fans made unexpected headlines for their large-scale, coordinated effort to sabotage a Donald Trump rally in Tulsa by reserving hundreds of thousands of tickets and not showing up. While this event likely did not have any impact on the outcome of the election, it is just one of the many instances of K-pop fans making headlines in an area outside the realm of music. While this has largely been cited as an example of the increasing influence of fandoms in the political sphere, the sheer amount of K-pop fans that take part in these movements have always struck me as a testament to the ingenuity of South Korea's pop music industry. This is why, among the various forms of Korean entertainment that have risen to global stardom in recent years, K-pop has always stood out to me the most. As while achieving commercial success is one thing, the ability to garner a fanbase so interconnected to one another that they have been known to influence events beyond the scope of the entertainment world is a feat very few subgenres in music can boast. But just how exactly has a country only the size of Louisiana been able to gain a seat at the table of global music industry heavyweights so quickly? While South Korea is certainly home to many talented producers and entertainers, so are many other countries whose music industries were established decades earlier and who have much longer histories of pioneering trends and producing influential artists. The answer to this question most likely lies in the fact that all forms of human expression contain artifacts and clues that reflect the culture that they were produced in. Thus, by taking a closer look into modern Korean culture and its history, we should be able to get a better understanding of how K-pop has risen to such great heights. Within any subgenre of music, there are key events that act as catalysts for the development of its sound. In the 1960s, a rise in the use of psychedelic drugs and the counterculture movement played key roles in the evolution of psychedelic rock. In the early to mid-2010s, the advent of music streaming services and social media heavily contributed to the rise of SoundCloud rap. For K-pop, its first pivotal moment came in 1997 when the collapse of the Thai baht triggered a massive chain reaction that hit the economies of many Southeast and East Asian countries. In what is now known as the 1997 Asian financial crisis, South Korea, who were fresh off the heels of 3 decades of continuous rapid economic growth, experienced a tripling of their unemployment rate, a depleted foreign reserve, and an external debt that at one point reached a value of $153 billion. When the dust settled by the end of 1997, South Korea found themselves on the verge of bankruptcy. To this day, the IMF's $58 billion rescue package given to South Korea remains one of the largest in its 80-year history. At the time, South Koreans viewed this bailout to be such a disgrace that many called it the nation's most humiliating moment since Japanese colonization. As a result, South Korea found itself with a desperate need to restore their global reputation. In fact, many of the conditions surrounding the aforementioned loan surrounded such policies in order to restore the confidence of foreign investors in South Korea's economy. Thus, in a time of need, cultural exportation, namely in the form of K-pop, presented itself as a golden opportunity for the South Korean economy to restore its global image. And in 1998, the South Korean Culture Ministry, under the leadership of the Kim Dae-jung administration, received a significant budget increase, which, together with the relaxation of the country's historically strict censorship regulations, laid the groundwork for what is now known as Hallyu, or the Korean Wave. For the next 20 years, K-pop rode the rising tide of the Korean Wave and saw exponential gains in popularity in foreign consumption. However, although K-pop was steadily gaining popularity in certain areas abroad, the industry still needed to secure a true hit in the West if they planned to join the upper echelon of global pop industries. And in 2012, they did. If you grew up in America during the 2010s like I did, then Gangnam Style was very likely your first introduction to K-pop. Indisputably one of the most viral songs of all time, it is hard to understate the ubiquity that Gangnam Style possessed in 2012. For as much as K-pop has increased in popularity over the past decade, Gangnam Style remains to this day by far the most popular K-pop song to ever be released. As the most successful piece of media to come from the Hallyu movement, Gangnam Style introduced the word K-pop into the Western pop culture lexicon, opening the door for the genre to enter the global mainstream. However, although the 1997 Asian financial crisis resulted in government backing for K-pop, history has shown that when it comes to music, large budgets are never a guarantee of success. And while Gangnam Style provided K-pop with a global platform, the nature of viral trends are that they can die out in the blink of an eye. As a result, while these two events certainly played significant roles in K-pop's development, it remained unclear in 2012 whether or not the genre was going to be able to take advantage of the spotlight that they had been given. However, what those outside the world of K-pop did not know was that by 2012, the K-pop industry had spent 20 years refining itself into an unprecedented entertainment package, one that was geared directly towards the cultivation of music's most profitable type of consumer, the superfan. It is at this point that I would like to mention the fact that unlike movies, video games, sporting events, and literature, the unique evanescence of music means that its enjoyment rests almost entirely on the subjective perception of the listener. While the exact reason behind why human beings enjoy music is not fully understood, experts suppose that our innate appreciation of music is in part an evolutionary feature that aided us in essential tasks such as finding community, forming a sense of belonging, and attracting a mate. Thus, our opinion on any given song is oftentimes contingent on factors unrelated to its musicality, such as our perception of the performer, where the music comes from, and the community with which we wish to associate ourselves with. This is an important aspect of understanding K-pop's path towards global superstardom, as by focusing heavily on the external qualities surrounding their music, the K-pop industry provides a product that fans are more likely to form a deeper connection with, maximizing the odds that they will continue to come back in the future. While K-pop is far from the first industry to recognize that cultivating superfans are the key to the most successful long-term business model in entertainment, it has set itself apart by its relentless pursuit of this goal, redefining the limits of what a music-based entertainment package can offer. In K-pop, music represents but a fraction of its overall experience. All of the hallmark traits of modern K-pop, elaborate choreography, trendy styling and presentation, an almost 24/7 dedication to the fans, and an extremely active social media presence, a pristine public image, and a strict aversion to anything controversial make it so that when combined with talented producers who focus solely on making the catchiest, trendiest music possible, K-pop is able to deliver an all-encompassing entertainment package that few of its contemporaries can match, an achievement demonstrated by the swaths of K-pop superfans that the genre is known for. Thus became the global phenomenon of K-pop, a product so popular that it is considered to have indirectly strengthened the power of the South Korean government and, as of today, provides millions of people with near constant entertainment as well as a strong sense of community. An astonishing feat, given that most of its songs being sung in a language that only about 1% of the world population can speak. Moreover, K-pop has also undeniably influenced the way in which Asians are viewed by the Western world. With the rise of Asian representation in Western media, the next generation of Asian Americans will likely never fully grasp just how outlandish the idea of Asian pop stars succeeding in the US once seemed. However, underneath the glamorous image that surrounds K-pop, it turns out that pushing the limits of what a music act can offer comes with a price, a psychological and physical toll which underlies the popularity of K-pop's most successful artists. Beginning from ages as young as 11 years old, K-pop labels begin a process of rigorously and ruthlessly shaping their trainees into the mold of the flawless K-pop idol. Through media training classes, they are told what to say. Through plastic surgery and weight restrictions, they are told how to look. And through their designated role in their group, they are told how to behave. In the name of producing the best possible product, K-pop labels exercise careful and precise control over almost every aspect of the performer's life. Thus, in K-pop, it is not an uncommon occurrence to see K-pop idols fainting from exhaustion or dehydration, stuck in predatory contracts, and apologizing for even the slightest of missteps. Within this strict control over both the professional and personal lives of their artists is the K-pop industry's philosophy that the most efficient way to maximize the commercial appeal of their artists is to remove them of their subjectivity. At this point, if you grew up outside of Korea like I did, it may be difficult to fathom how a company is able to get away with exercising such authoritarian control over their employees, regardless of how successful it makes the resulting product. However, in South Korea, this by any means necessary formula for success that we see in K-pop is not unique to its pop music industry, but rather a symptom of a culture ingrained with the belief that when it comes to the pursuit of economic success, the ends almost always justify the means. This mentality, which is considered a major contributing factor to the country's miraculous economic growth, is one that is sewn deep into the cultural fabric of modern South Korea. This culture, which I can best describe as ruthless competition, allows the K-pop industry to demand the most from the talent by normalizing the astronomically high standard that all South Koreans have set for themselves. And while it may be true that this cultural mentality aided economic development, this environment of ruthless competition is also most likely the culprit behind why South Korea routinely ranks as one of the world's most unhappy nations. This prevailing aspect of South Korea's culture is perhaps better understood when considering the fact that the country has experienced one of the most astounding periods of economic growth in human history. As a country that rose from the depths of war and famine to one of the world's most prosperous countries, South Korea has understandably become one of the world's most devout followers of the free market doctrine and economic growth, despite the increasing visibility of its costs. Nevertheless, the entertainment package of K-pop represents a cutting-edge market innovation in the world of music and has positioned the genre as a global trendsetter in the realm of international pop. However, South Korea's culture of ruthless competition that underlies this innovation bears pernicious consequences that, if left unchecked, can ossify into the deep issues that we see continue to plague South Korean society. Moreover, as we approach the limit of what we can extract from the finite resources of our natural world, economies around the globe have increasingly begun to lean more on their cultural industries like music to continue their growth. Within the last 2 years, the governments of Thailand, Zimbabwe, and Oman have announced the beginning of their own global pop music campaigns in hopes of following the example set by South Korea. Given that the value that K-pop provides can only be created through a culture that places competition above all else, it seems that these countries share the sentiment that whatever the costs, the quest for economic development is one that reigns supreme. Thus, the case of K-pop represents yet another step in mankind's broader unrelenting march along the path of economic progress, this time into the world of music. However, in a world that has now become as alienated as it has become wealthy, it remains to be seen whether the utopian destination we seem to see in our horizon is in actuality or simply a mirage. Most likely, it lies somewhere in between.